Hey, what's up, sports fans? You are listening to the Go-4-2 Sports Podcast. Here I am, Gisclair, and in the next couple of minutes, 10-15 minutes or so, we're going to be talking about a lot of things in the world of sports. We're going to be talking some NBA. We're going to be talking some College World Series. We got a lot of different things that we could possibly touch on if our time allows us. And last night the NBA Finals completed. The Golden State Warriors dusted off the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games, with the Warriors taking Game 6 last night in Cleveland. I think the biggest story of the night was the fact that Andre Iguodala won the NBA Finals MVP over LeBron James, who was absolutely masterful statistically in the series, but didn't quite get it done in the final 3 games whenever his team needed him the most. And look, here's my thoughts on that. Here's my honest to goodness opinion on the MVP. You can read my story on the site. It's up there, and my opinion here is going to be the same as my opinion there was. I think Iguodala deserved the MVP. I could hear the sirens blaring from Cleveland. They want their guy to have been named the MVP, but I don't think that would have been the right thing to do, and I'll tell you why. I think that Iguodala is the MVP because when you look at this series and you measure what the word value means, because MVP is an acronym for most valuable player. If you look at what the acronym for valuable, or what the word value means, Andre Iguodala provided nothing but value to the Golden State Warriors in this series, and I'll tell you why. First 3 games of the series, Cleveland had control. They were a jump shot away from winning Game 1. They won Game 2. They won Game 3. So here we are, Game 4. We're sitting with the Cavaliers on top 2-1 in a series that they controlled all 3 of the first 3 games. They were leading after almost every quarter of the first 12 quarters in this series. Steve Kerr makes the decision to go small in Game 4. He inserts Andre Iguodala into the starting lineup. The rest is history. After that point in time, Golden State controlled the rest of the series and dominated the final 3 games, taking control, winning 4-2. And not only was Iguodala doing it on the defense with guarding LeBron James, he held LeBron James to 35% shooting in this series, something that is why, in my opinion, LeBron James can't be the MVP, because you talk about value. Again, that keyword value. I don't know that there is a ton of value in a guy that's just shooting 50 or 60 times a game and shooting 38, 39%. Look, LeBron James's numbers were incredible. He did wonderful things throughout the series, and without him, if you take out LeBron James and you insert any other player into that Cleveland Cavaliers lineup, this series would have been a sweep. The guy's the best player in basketball, but all I'm saying is that there are other guys in the NBA, Russell Westbrook that comes to mind, Kevin Durant comes to mind, that if you tell them, hey, go out there and shoot all the shots, they could have scored 40 points every game as well. And I think that LeBron James' performance, while epic, didn't quite have a ton of value in the last 3 games, did it? Because the Cavaliers were getting ruled out of the gym for 3 straight games in this series. And Iguodala also did something that was very impressive to me, is that in the final couple of games, he was scoring the basketball. He had 20 points in 2 of the final 3 games, and when you combine that with the fact that he was guarding that big freight train for 48 minutes a night, that's pretty doggone impressive. And I think that for a man who has sacrificed a lot of things in his career like Iguodala has, look, there have been plenty of times where he could have been the best player on a team, and he sort of stepped back and said, hey, you guys go and take this. Y'all could handle this lead role. I'm going to just stay on the side and do my job. Iguodala has always been a good teammate and a high character guy, so it's very good to see him finally get his just for once, I guess, in his career in winning the NBA Finals MVP award. So with that being said, we're going to look a little bit towards next season before we get to college baseball talk. Las Vegas has already spoken, and they have released some betting odds for the 2015-2016 NBA season. A little bit of a surprise at the top is the Cleveland Cavaliers are favored by 9-4 odds to win the 2016 NBA championship. And I say that's a little bit of a surprise because there's a lot of uncertainty around this Cleveland Cavalier roster. LeBron James is a player option for next year. Kevin Love is a player option. J.R. Smith may not be back. Tristan Thompson may not be back. Iman Shumpert may not be back. there are a lot of question marks around this Cavaliers team, so I'm a little bit surprised to see them at the top spot. The defending champion Golden State Warriors are 5-1. Oklahoma City, coincidentally enough, we didn't even make the playoffs this past year, 5-1. I guess Vegas is expecting the Thunder to be back with a vengeance if Kevin Durant gets healthy. The Clippers are 10-1, Spurs 12-1, Bulls 12-1, Hawks 20-1, Rockets 20-1, and hey, New Orleans Pelicans 20-1 as well. So it's good to see that Vegas gives the Pelicans, let's say, top 10 odds, or ranking the Pelicans rather as one of the top 10 teams in the NBA, giving them 20-1 odds. I mean, obviously, there's so much that could happen between now and then. I don't know how this is going to play itself out, but it's good to see the Pelicans at least on the short list as we head towards next season. College World Series is getting into high gears. There are, I believe, just 5-6 teams left in the field. LSU is one of those teams. They won yesterday afternoon over Cal State Fullerton, getting a complete game effort from pitcher Alex Lang to defeat the Titans. LSU fell behind 3-0 in that ball game, but then fired back to get 4 runs to take the lead, and then got a couple of insurance runs along the way to seal the victory. With the win, LSU stays alive in the losers bracket. They will take on TCU, the team that put LSU in the losers bracket. Those two teams will meet tomorrow. LSU doesn't have a starting pitcher per se for tomorrow's game. It'll sort of be the all-staff effort. The winner of the LSU and TCU ball game will ascend to the finals of that side of the bracket, and they will have to beat Vanderbilt twice, something that I don't think will be an easy feat, something that, quite frankly, I don't think either team could do. But either way, at this stage in the ball game, LSU's magic number is 3. They win 3 more games. They are going to the NCAA championship round. We'll see if that happens or not. I tend to think it will not. But you never know. You're still alive, and until they tell you to quit playing, you got to keep going out there and taking the field. So the Tigers are certainly still in the hunt, still in the thick of things. They got to get through a TCU team before they could get their crack at Vanderbilt. Obviously, the big storyline in yesterday's ball game, besides for the wonderful pitching of Alex Lang, was a little bit of a change and shift by the LSU offense. They put Alex Bregman in the leadoff spot in the batting lineup, and Bregman responded by getting a ton of hits and sparking some LSU offensive rallies. So Bregman got going. That was something that was welcome news from the LSU faithful, who had saw the All-American shortstop struggle throughout the NCAA tournament, but he got on track. And he did some very, very good things for the LSU baseball team against Cal State Fullerton. To get revenge against TCU, I think that we're going to have to see something similar happen here tomorrow night. Well, before we let you guys go and then enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon, wanted to thank everybody for all the support on the site to this point. Things are going well. Numbers are looking pretty good, and I want to encourage everybody out there to check out our betting blog, man. We have been on absolute fire with the betting blog as of late. We put free lines out there for 21 games, and most people that would put free lines out there for 21 games, they would hit 10 of them, maybe 12 of them. They'd be right around 500. But we're proud to say that so far on the betting blog, we have been 14-7 overall. That is a line that we are very happy about, very pleased about. And that's a run and a momentum streak that we look to keep going in the future. So, hey, go out there. They're free. Just go and make the picks that I make. So far, so good. We've been 14-7, and we're going to try to keep that Thunder going into the future. Before I go, actually, I forgot one of the things on my list here. I wanted to talk a little bit of WWE. We're going to talk about WWE last because I know this is a very polarizing thing. If you guys don't like wrestling, just feel free to hit the stop button now and go ahead and go about your day. But I wanted to talk a little bit of WWE. The wrestling guys had a pay-per-view this past weekend, and quite frankly, I didn't like very many of the results on the pay-per-view. I am pleased Seth Rollins is still the WWE champion. I'm not very pleased with anything else. I'm not pleased that the Primetime Players won. I'm not pleased that the Big Show won. I'm not pleased with a lot of the results that were out there on that show. I don't think that the booking, quite frankly, has been very good lately. I don't think John Cena should have beat Kevin Owens, although I'm a little more encouraged about that result by the fact that they're fighting a third match. So, maybe at the end of the day, Owens will get his just due and will win that best of 3 series. Although, knowing the way things have gone in WWE lately, Cena's probably going to win that match. But Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know if I had to give a letter grade to the show overall, there were some good matches. There were. I didn't like the result to some of them, but the wrestling and the performances were pretty crisp. And I think that, yeah, you give it about a C+, maybe a B-, just for the wrestling content on the show. And then, of course, the following night on Monday Night Raw, Brock Lesnar made his return to the ring. He will be challenging Seth Rollins, and it's a little bit of a interesting turn of events, I guess, because Brock Lesnar was once the big, massive heel, the big monster that everybody was chasing, but he came back to a thunderous applause. He is undoubtedly the face in that match, so we're going to be interested to see where that's all going to be headed. They got a couple of really good real fights, with the air quotes on the real, I guess, because I think the WWE is very competitive and something that isn't real and that it's staged, but I think the guys take a beating out there in the ring. But there are some good real fights this coming weekend, as Adrian Broner will hit the ring, and he will be fighting on free TV on Saturday night. I'm not sure about Adrian Broner in this one. I think that Broner is going to be in for the fight of his life. I think that when you look at the opponent, Sean Porter, this is going to be a good fight. If you're one of the guys that's like me, like to see Broner go out there and a chance to maybe get his teeth knocked in because we don't like his personality very much, this is maybe your fight to watch. I think that this is going to be one in which Broner is going to have his work cut out for him. That one's going to be on Saturday night, which is coincidentally enough my birthday, but enough about that. Then also Friday night, if you're into maybe not the best fighters in the world, but maybe just some named fighters, some guys that'll be brawling it out. You got a good friend of ours and a guy who was a guest on our radio show once, Ken Shamrock, who is getting up there in age. He will be returning to the octagon. He will be taking on Kimbo Slice. I don't know where that fight's going to go because I don't really know what either guy involved has been focused on or working on, or I don't know where the work ethic has been. I mean, both of these guys are in the twilight of their careers. It's sort of hard to judge who's going to be more ready or more focused out of a couple of guys who are well past their prime. But I do tell you it's going to be entertaining to see because these guys genuinely hate one another. If you want to see two guys who have nothing but a disdain for one another fight, this could be a brawl. This could end up with some guys bleeding. This could end up with a very ugly scene for one of the fighters who comes out on the losing end of that one. That one will be on Spike TV for anybody that's interested. But we're going to wrap things up right here. We hope that everybody has a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. You've been listening to the Go-4-2 Sports Blog. We're going to try to do these a little bit more often. We have had a little bit of an issue getting some of our equipment hooked up, but we're getting those things resolved, and we're getting things lined up. Next time around, hey, we maybe even have a guest or two on, and we could open up the conversation a little bit. But thanks for supporting the site. Go check out that betting blog, man. We are doing great things out there. Keep all the news coming to us. Keep following your news through us. We're going to have a lot of stories and content and everything throughout the summer leading into the football season. So you guys have a wonderful afternoon. God bless. Thanks for all the support so far. This is Casey Gisclair with the Go-4-2 Sports Betting Blog.